Ousmane Sembène is a Senegalese writer and filmmaker. He is one of Africa's greatest novelists, and he is also known as the father of African cinema. His work centers on the ordinary people and combats societal standards and repressive governments. He was born on January 8, 1923, in the southern region of Senegal known as Casamance. He was expelled from school in 1936 and would not go beyond a middle school education. He then was a fisherman in Casamance and then worked in Dakar as a plumber, bricklayer, and a mechanic. Although he was denied further education, he developed a love for reading and then discovered cinema. During the day, he was doing manual labor, and in the evening, he was reading, watching movies, or with friends doing traditional Senegalese cultural events. He was soon drafted into the colonial army and fought with the French in Italy and Germany. He also participated in the liberation of France. After the war, he was looking for a new source of income and moved to Marseille, where he worked on the piers, and then he became the leader of the Longshoremen's Union. His first novel, The Dakar Noir, is about his and his co-workers' experiences during this time. He went to start writing full-time and returned to Senegal when it gained independence in 1960. He was active and critical in the political scene, which you can see in his work. In Opé's Man View People, he recounts the plight of a developing nation under colonialism. God's Bits of Wood is about railway workers in the French African West developing a sense of self and group consciousness during a strike. Le Harmattan focuses on the difficulty of creating a popular government and also the corruption of politicians, which causes the arrival of independence to be postponed. In the 1960s, Sembène studied film in Moscow at Gorky Studios. He turned to film in order to reach those who could not read. In his country, many did not have the skill of reading, and he wanted his work to reach a large percentage of people. He wanted his people to hear and understand his message. His people are his intended audience.
Est-ce que vos films sont bien compris en Europe?
Non mais mettons-nous bien ça dans la tête. Moi, l'Europe n'est pas mon centre. L'Europe est une périphérie de l'Afrique. Vous voyez, ils sont restés plus de 100 ans chez moi, ils n'ont pas parlé ma langue, je parle leur langue. L'avenir, pour moi, l'avenir ne dépend pas d'être compris par l'Europe. Je souhaiterais qu'ils me comprennent, mais ça ne me fait absolument rien. Si vous prenez la carte de l'Afrique, géographiquement, vous pouvez mettre l'Europe et l'Amérique, il nous resterait encore de la place. Pourquoi voulez-vous que ce tropisme, vous savez le tropisme, pourquoi voulez-vous que je sois comme le tournesol qui tourne autour du soleil? Je suis moi-même le soleil.
He is someone who cares about his people. He was an activist who used his movies, novels, and words to spread what is right and send messages as they are intended. He opened his work to the poor and the new African class.
Je me suis trouvé à l'âge de 40 ans en vadrouille à travers l'Afrique, au Congo du temps de Lumumba. 40 ans, j'avais 40 ans. Quand j'ai pris conscience que le cinéma facilitait la prise de conscience, parce que le cinéma c'est un meeting permanent avec le public. Dans une salle de cinéma, vous avez catholiques, musulmans, gaullistes, communistes et tout ça. Quand le film est bon, chacun perçoit et accepte ce qu'il veut. C'est ça qui m'a amené au cinéma pour mieux poursuivre ma quête de militantisme. Maintenant, si vous me demandez ce que je préfère individuellement, je préfère la littérature que le cinéma. Mais ça, c'est un luxe. De nos jours, la littérature est un luxe. Mais pour prendre le raccourci de l'histoire avec la tradition de l'oralité, le cinéma devient pour nous un outil important. Et il est de tous les arts l'expression les plus faciles et les plus agréables pour un grand public. Malheureusement, le cinéma coûte cher, demande beaucoup d'investissement, tant humain que financier.
Sembène was someone who cared about the people through and through. Many of his films have been censored or temporarily banned by the government because of its powerful messages that go against what the government wants people to hear. Every single article of his work, he had a reason, a message. He was one for all people, regardless of money, gender, religion, etc. Ousmane Sembène's breakthrough film was La Noire, which translates to Black Girl. It was the first sub-Saharan film ever shown at the Cannes Film Festival. It is a story about a Senegalese girl who is lured from her own country by a French couple with the promise of wealth. She is tricked and becomes full of loneliness and faces inconsiderateness. Sembène's work gives his clear perspective of the condition of women. It critiques women's oppression, and they also critique African usual traditions and ways of life. We are able to see the oppression and also the revolt and need for change. When women progress, society progresses. This is a quote straight from Sembène. His films like Fat King, La Noire and Moulade prove to have the agenda of getting the liberation of African women and move far, far away from the traditional beliefs that place African women at a disadvantaged position. He puts women on a pedestal where they are respected. He always puts the perspective that women demand equal rights and should be valued in the community. He reveals the capacity of women in society. His progressing society is one that includes women being valued and respected alongside men. Ousmane Sembène is a true treasure to African cinema. He will always be remembered for his work and his message.